112th minute. Extra time. Jonathan Tah rises above the box and heads Germany in front. Foxborough erupts. Then the review screen comes up and the goal is gone. Germany versus Paraguay. Round of 32, June 29, 2026. A team that had never lost a penalty shootout at a major tournament in their entire history. They lose this one 4-3. And the goal that should have won it for them, in regulation, gets wiped off the board by a foul call almost nobody watching agreed with. Pundits calling it dead wrong. Germany's own head coach calling it a joke. But if you think this is just one bad call costing one nation a World Cup, you are missing the bigger story. Because this is not the first time it has happened to Germany. And Germany is not the only big name this has happened to. Let's go back to the start of this match, because the way it unfolded makes the ending sting even more. Germany dominated the opening exchanges, 78% possession in the first half, and somehow they trailed at the break. Julio Enciso headed Paraguay in front in the 42nd minute, set up by Miguel Almiron. Germany had the ball, Paraguay had the goal. Kai Havertz dragged them level in the 54th minute, finishing off a Florian Wirtz cross. 1-1. The game ground into extra time. Then, the 112th minute. Nathaniel Brown swings in a corner. Jonathan Tah rises above everyone in the box and heads it in. 2-1. Germany on the brink of the quarterfinals. A team that had not lost a World Cup knockout match since they lifted the trophy in 2014. VAR steps in. On-field review. And referee Jalal Jayed reverses his own call, ruling that Waldemar Anton fouled Paraguay goalkeeper Orlando Gil, blocking him from challenging for the ball in the moment before the header went in. Goal disallowed. Back to 1-1. It goes to penalties. Germany, winners of 6 of their previous 7 shootouts at major tournaments, lose 4-3. Tah himself misses the decisive kick, the same player whose goal had just been wiped off the board. Paraguay's Jose Canale steps up and sends Germany home. The reaction is immediate. Peter Schmeichel, live on Fox, says he does not believe it was a foul. Alan Shearer on the BBC calls it a terrible decision and says the goalkeeper conned the referee. Julian Nagelsmann, Germany's own head coach, calls the ruling a joke. And then, ESPN's official VAR review panel goes even further, concluding it was the goalkeeper who initiated the contact, not a foul by Anton, and calling it both a poor intervention and a poor reversal. Paraguay's win is historic. Their first World Cup knockout victory other than a shootout, the biggest result in their football history. Nobody is taking that away from them. But for Germany, the question writes itself. Did the better team just get eliminated by a mistake? Here is the part most people watching the Paraguay game did not know. This has happened to Germany before. Rewind 2 years, July 5th, 2024, Stuttgart, Euro 2024 quarterfinal. Germany, the host nation, against Spain, 105th minute, extra time. Jamal Musiala strikes a shot from outside the box. The ball is blocked by Spain's Marc Cucurella by his arm, inside the penalty area. Referee Anthony Taylor waves away Germany's appeals. VAR official Stuart Atwell does not even recommend a review. Spain go on to win 2-1 in extra time, Michael Merino scoring deep into stoppage time. Spain then go on to win the entire tournament, beating England in the final. At the time, officials defended the call. Under UEFA's guidance, an arm close to the body and pointing downward was not considered an offense. And Taylor's decision technically followed that standard. That was the explanation. Germany were told to accept it and move on. Except 2 months later, something happened that almost never happens in football. UEFA's own referees committee reviewed the incident and reversed course. The call should have been a penalty. Cucurella's arm was not close enough to his body. He had made himself bigger. The governing body itself admitted its officials got it wrong. UEFA went on to use the Cucurella incident as a training case study, citing it directly when clarifying the handball law for referees going forward. Cucurella himself later confirmed in a 2025 interview that he was told the incident directly led to a rule change, while still maintaining the handball itself was unintentional. This is not pundit opinion. This is not fan outrage on social media. This is the actual governing body of European football, months after the fact, conceding that a call against Germany in a knockout game at a major tournament was wrong. 2 tournaments, 2 knockout eliminations, 2 contested calls that directly cost Germany the result. If this happened to a nation once, you call it bad luck. Happening to the same team twice, at this level, in matches this big, starts to look like something else entirely. Because here is the thing, Germany is not the only one with a story like this. This tournament has already shown a pattern, and it goes well beyond one team. Start with England versus Ghana, Group L, Foxborough. England dominated the ball, 79% possession, the highest ever recorded by a team that failed to score in a World Cup match in over 60 years. And yet it is Ghana walking off the pitch, furious. 67th minute, Ghana's Prince Kwabena Adu collides with England goalkeeper Jordan Pickford just outside the box. Referee Saeed Martinez rules that Pickford was the one fouled. A former Premier League assistant referee tells the BBC afterward it should have been a penalty, or, at the very least, a VAR review. 12 minutes later, Adu is through on goal again. He appears to be brought down inside the box by Ezri Konsa. VAR does not intervene. ESPN's own review panel disagrees outright, saying Konsa was fortunate not to concede a penalty. Ghana's head coach Carlos Queiroz, post-match, sarcastically says VAR went for coffee. Now look at Argentina. Group J opener against Algeria. Messi scores a hat-trick, ties Miroslav Klose's all-time World Cup goals record. But in the 32nd minute, Messi makes a stud's first challenge on Algeria's captain. No card shown. ESPN analyst Ale Moreno calls it 100% a red card live on air and says it plays directly into a narrative. Great players get preferential treatment. This time, it does not stop at commentary. Algeria's federation files a formal complaint with FIFA's own refereeing commission. And it happens again. A different Argentina match against Austria, a different uncarded incident. Bayern's Konrad Laimer tells reporters post-match that Argentina were given a different standard from the officials all game. Different referees, different matches, different continents represented in the complaints filed. Same pattern, surfacing again and again. So, what do you actually call all of this? Not a coincidence. There are too many incidents, too many credentialed voices saying the exact same thing for it to be nothing. But it is also not proof of a coordinated plan. No source, no official, no insider has ever alleged that FIFA itself is directing referees to protect star players or big nations. That specific claim does not exist anywhere in the reporting. What does exist is something narrower and honestly more interesting, a pattern of contested decisions that keep breaking the same direction. And to be fair, this is not purely a story of marquee teams always getting the benefit of the doubt. VR inconsistency at this tournament has cut in more than one direction. Brazil themselves have been frustrated enough by officiating that their federation president, Samir Zod, sent a formal letter directly to FIFA. If even Brazil is filing complaints, this is not simply big nations getting protected at everyone else's expense. It is messier than that. But strip away the noise and look at what is actually left standing. Germany, twice, at 2 different major tournaments, on calls a governing body itself later admitted was wrong in one case. England, given the benefit of the doubt twice in a single half against Ghana. Messi, surviving a stud's first challenge that ESPN's own review panel called a clear red card. One formal federation complaint to FIFA, then another. That is not speculation. That is a paper trail, with names and dates attached. And now Germany, 6-time major tournament shootout winners, unbeaten in knockout football since they lifted the trophy in 2014, are home, eliminated. Officially, the first major nation knocked out of this entire World Cup, according to ESPN's own tracker. Nagelsmann called the TA decision a joke. UEFA already admitted to getting one of these wrong in writing months after the fact. The question is no longer whether referees make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. The real question is why the mistakes keep landing the same way, against the same kind of team, in the moments that matter most. So, where does this leave things? Germany are out. The first major nation eliminated from the 2026 World Cup, beaten not just by Paraguay's penalties, but by a VAR call that even neutral pundits could not defend. It is the second time at a major tournament that Germany have ended up on the wrong end of a decision a governing body or an expert panel later said should have gone the other way. And they are not alone. Ghana, Algeria, Austria, all with their own version of this exact story, inside the same 3 weeks of football. Maybe it is coincidence stacked on coincidence. Or maybe it is something the people running this tournament need to look at seriously before the next call decides another team's World Cup. Was TA's goal a foul? Was Germany robbed twice at 2 different tournaments? Drop your verdict below, subscribe, and stay close. This World Cup is not done raising hard questions.